All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be working on Project 7 Leafs. We're going to be taking out and replacing some of these worn interior items. As you saw, I've got a new steering wheel that's good to go in. We're going to pull this out and put a race seat in and a harness bar along with some harnesses. I'm waiting for the roll bar or the cage that I want to put in, and a couple other things, but for the most part this will finish out a majority of the interior. I still have some of this tan paneling that I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm probably gonna get some new door panels and then figure out what we want to do, whether or not I just want to tear all the carpet out and leave it, or actually tear it out and put black carpet in. I don't know, something about the tan just doesn't work for me. I want to try and stay with the black and red as we go through the car, but I've got some cool items that we're going to put in today. Got a real cool steering boss that retains the horn and everything else, so we're going to keep the horn. Have a NRG quick release and really cool Momo limited edition, like this all black wheel that is going to go in this car. As you guys saw, I've got some PCI. I got a PCI mount along with the sub harness mount and Recaro seat to go in over here on the driver's side too. So we're going to put that in along with the harness bar, get the harnesses set up, see if there's anything as I'm missing along the way. There always is, you know how that is. And then see what we can get it all in today. I've also got the little console cover that'll help finish out everything. And for the most part, the interior will be done at that point. As you guys, if you didn't see the last episode, we put the soft top in, and before that we did the wheels, tires, and brakes on the car. So car's coming along really well. This, like I said, will hopefully knock out most of the interior that we need to do. I also have a couple of these little things. So I have these little covers right here for the visors. Thank you McRib for those that are black with like red. It says Miata in red, so it fits the rest of the theme. But we're gonna get to it. As always, you guys drop those comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll definitely try and reply, or as great as the community is, you know, when you put those questions in, somebody else will reply. So if it's not me, I'm sure somebody else, and you know, we all help each other, and you know, you guys let me know. I'll let you know how the seat fits. I'll get in it and everything else, so you guys can see how that goes. I'll let you know how the PCI mounts, you guys will see how I put those in, and we'll see how they fit. The PCI mount is specifically a low mount. They had a regular mount and a low mount. The low mount, I'm gonna, you want to sit as low as you can in the car. I'm not that tall, but you know, for any of the guys that are, you know, for any of the drivers that are 6 foot, the low mount, it would probably be better for you. What I'll probably do is I'll put it in and I'll put the seat literally at the lowest setting and show you guys. And then for me, because you know, I'm not that tall, I'll bring the seat up a little bit for where I want and the angle and everything else. But I'll do my best to show you guys everything, and we'll run through. As always, thank you for your support, and let's get at it and have some fun. All right. Okay, so what you'll see is a whole nice set of instructions that, unless you want to translate Japanese, you're not going to be able to read, but they're really good to have pictures. So if you can put IKEA furniture together, you should be okay. So for the steering boss, they show top here, and then you can see the little window for the wire that's supposed to come through right here, so you know what your top orientation is. And you saw as I pulled off the wheel, I set the wheel pretty much straight, so I should be pretty close to like straight on when I put this on too. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, if in the end you got to pull it off and move it over a tooth, it's really not that big a deal. Or in the end, it could also be just alignment issues too. But the way this is set up is it retains the horn and also defaults the airbag, so you don't get the airbag light on anymore, since you know the aftermarket wheel doesn't have an airbag. But I'm going to keep going through. The instructions actually are pretty good. I make fun of them because, you know, they're only in Japanese, but they do actually look really good. And as you can see, it has the wiring and everything else. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try and assemble. You guys saw, you know, I had this old habit of when things would get stuck, I would just like rip them apart and break them. So I'm glad I didn't this time. I missed this screw. This screw is like really deep up in there, but I was able to just kind of clam it off and take it off without breaking it. So don't forget to take all the screws out of the bottom. So I'll put those back on. I'll take that off and put that back on when we're done. But yeah, so we're gonna go through. That's how we know the orientation of what's upright for this, and we'll see how the rest goes. All right. All right, guys, so that's it to take the seats out. It was literally 4 bolts to get the seat out. No big deal. One of the fun things you always find on random cars is random bolts. So it was kind of funny because I had 15s all through 3 of them, and then there was a different bolt in one of the mounts, and it was a 17, whatever, you know. So those are all pulled out, seats out. So now I'm going to go through. I'll put the PCI mount in. We'll see what that looks like, see how that fits, and then if that's the case, then start mounting the seat in the PCI rails and go from there. So that's it. We'll see how it goes. So far, easy. Seat out. Steering wheel went pretty good so far. Just need to test the horn and all of that, but we'll do that later. And I probably need to vacuum under here. All right, let's keep going. All right, guys, so PCI mount, this is their low mount, like I was saying. One of the things it seems like I'm running into is a little bit of clearance here on this corner. So inner side, tunnel side, a little bit of clearance, which I have read that a lot of people end up kind of like banging the tunnel a little bit. So what I'm probably gonna do is what I wanted to do anyway, and I might just cut this carpet out just to get it out of the way anyways. See if it gives me, see how much clearance I end up needing over here on the tunnel at that point, and then probably take a big hammer and give myself a little bit more clearance. So I'm gonna see how it fits. Like I said, I'm probably gonna take the carpet out. I didn't really like the tan carpet anyways. And I'm probably going to take it out the quick way instead of disassembling the interior, and just use a razor blade real quick and just cut it out and be done with it for now. So we'll keep going. I'll see how that goes, and then once I know I have the clearance over here and this bolt will sit down, it looks like the mounts do, it looks like all the mount holes do line up, which is nice. I've had other mounts where they don't. So I'll have that. I'll put the center piece that they have here for the sub harness, and I'll show you how the sub harness bolts in here and then routes up underneath. So the harness that we're putting in, the race harness, is a 6-point harness. So it's got the 2 shoulders, your 2 waists that come around, and then the 2 sub mount that come up and over this way, up and under the seat. So I'll show you guys that, but looks like I'm gonna have to do a little work over here on the side of the tunnel, and it is what it is. Kind of expected. Alright guys, so I know there's going to be a couple that freaked out that I just ripped half the carpet out, but it honestly looks better already, just red without the tan. And in the end I might put black carpet in, but we'll see. I actually like it. I actually like the look without the carpet. But again, in the end we'll see what I end up with. But I wanted to show you, so now you can see a little better. So you got the PCI lower mount, the seat mount. You can see it does actually fit nice. And then over here you can see how I'm raised up, and the reason I'm raised up is right here on the bracket. You can see how the bracket's hitting the tunnel right here. So from here to about there, see right there, from there to about there, I'm gonna beat that tunnel in with a nice big hammer and get this to sit down flat. We're gonna need to get it down enough and kind of beat the tunnel in just enough so this sits down flat. And then once it sits down flat, we'll go from there and we'll see if we need anything else. But that should be all it needs. And like I said, I did read this on a bunch of other forums. One positive thing about taking that carpet out besides the looks is, I don't know, I made like almost $2, you know, and change, which is pretty cool, unless of course like one of these little weedies or one of these little things is special and it's, you know, worth $1 million bucks, and then we really came up. But like I said, I'm gonna beat the tunnel in right here with a nice big hammer, and then we'll get this mount to sit flat, and then I'll show you guys with the mount and the seat in at that point. Alright guys, so this is what the Recaro would look like fully mounted in the car, if it fit. So, I guess it's one of those issues when you don't do enough research, or you thought you did the research you were supposed to do. I don't know. You can tell, a little defeated on this. But my problem is, now that I made room for the PCI mount fits. When I went to, and I wonder if you guys already caught this in the comments and everything else. When I went to mount the Recaro to the PCI mount, the side mount holes on the Recaro actually don't line up with the PCI, the one-piece PCI mount. So I started doing my research, was, you know, all upset. Hey, it doesn't fit, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. And what I found was on PCI's website, right down towards the bottom, which I swore I looked at all that information, it says for a Sparco Sprint seat. It says application for Sparco Sprint seat. So I guess the Sprint seat application of where the side mount holes are on the seat are what actually fit this. So now my challenge is do I get a different base seat mount and then run just the side mounts off of that, or do I just go get a Sprint seat, which I'm not sure. I really had my heart set on this Recaro going in this car, and I like the way it looks and feels, and you know, I like the way I fit in it and everything else. So one of those things, I mean, I had the same issue, I guess, with my S2000 also, where I went through like 3 different seat bases, and I really thought I had what I needed in this PCI mount. And again, I'm not going to blame PCI or anything else, because as I did scroll through their page and went through, hey, low mount, okay, cool, you know, it is the right application for this car, but the very last bottom line item says for a Sprint seat, for a Sparco Sprint seat. So I think what I'm going to do is, we'll see. I'll show you the harness bar going in place, and then I'll do the magic of the internet and the magic of YouTube. And when we come back and I show you the final of everything sitting in place, you guys can see the surprise on which seat I ended up doing, and at the very end I'll talk to you guys one more time and show you, you know, which seat I went with and why. The only thing I have left that I wanted to do was the harness bar, so I'm going to show you guys the harness bar, and then at the very end of all of this, you guys will get that last surprise and see what seat I ended up with, and I'll let you guys know at that point which seat base I went with. So, but the PCI, after banging in the tunnel a little bit, does fit very well the way it's supposed to. It's just a matter of which seat is specifically supposed to mount on it. So I think that's where I messed up there. But we got the steering wheel in, you guys saw, and you saw the Momo wheel go up, and I'll give you a good nice close-up of that at the end, along with the seat at the end. I'm going to throw this harness bar in the back. That way I've got a place for the harnesses, and then I'll unpack the harnesses and make sure I have all the strap attachments and everything else for what wraps around the bar, and then what runs for the sub mount too. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll finish up what we have left, and then we'll do the surprise at the end, and I'll show you what seat I ended up with. All right, thanks guys. All right guys, so that actually didn't go too bad with the harness bar. I'm kind of surprised. So we took off the OEM one. I pulled the panels off because again, I don't like the tan. I might put the panels back on. I might spray them, put them back on, or just get some black ones and throw them back on. But otherwise the harness bar is on. Once I get the seat in, then I can start mounting the harnesses and everything else and show you guys that. So that wasn't so bad. The links for these, I'll make sure and send you. I mean, like I said, most everybody likes to run like a Hard Dog or something else. I found another brand I liked, and so they were local. I figured I would try them out. So I'll definitely drop the links for all this stuff so you guys can, you know, pick and choose what you want, and if you like it better. So, all right, let's keep going. All right guys, so it's all finally in. As you can see, I didn't end up with the Recaro. I tried 3 different seat bases and all of them I had the same issue with. So I'm gonna have to do some more research, figure out what other what other seat base, what other custom type of rail I can go with. If you guys know, I really did want to try and run the Recaro in here. So if you guys know a good way to put the Recaro in and a certain seat base to use, you guys let me know. So you can see I ended up with the Sprint seat. I ended up using the PCI mount, and I liked it because, well, one, I liked the mount and the way it looked, but it also had the sub harness belt. So I liked that it had the attachment point and everything built into that. I didn't have to make extra holes for like eye bolts or anything. So that was kind of cool. And then as you saw, I started putting the Sparco harness in, and you know, before you guys throw a ton of comments and everything else, I still need to make all my final adjustments and, you know, make sure everything sits where it's supposed to, and it's, you know, it's tight when I'm in, and I have to go throw my my Hans on with a helmet and everything else and make sure the Hans fits, you know, with the shoulder straps and everything. But I'm really happy. The seat's super secure. I'll have to play with whether or not I want to tilt it up one more and kind of tilt back just a hair. I'm not sure. I think I might. But, you know, that's all the kind of like fine tuning that you do. And then, I mean, you guys saw that I was putting the, you know, the NRG quick release up here. This one is the Momo wheel. The Momo wheel is just a hair bigger. And I find that, so I'm short. I mean, that's no surprise. You guys know that if you've seen any of my other videos. So I'm 5'5", and I got on purpose a super low seat mount, and I wanted to sit low. I like the Momo wheel, and the purpose of the Momo wheel is going to be exactly what it is. It's more of a daily wheel. And then the Vertex wheel I have is a little bit more dish, just a little bit. But the distance is pretty good for me. I like this distance. This will be comfortable. I'll have to see how it does when I'm actually on the track and how it feels. But the distance from the wheel actually feels pretty good. The distance, as far as I can tell from the pedals, is going to work for me. I was in a buddy of mine's Miata that it was actually this seat. So he knows who he is. Thank you. I called him up on a late night and was like, I need a seat. How about that seat that's in your car? And it was good timing. I went over there and we literally pulled the seat right out of his car, and I just left him with no seat. No, he had another seat that he was going to put in. So, but it worked out because, well, one, he had the Sparco Sprint seat. Two, it's red, so like it fits well. It doesn't look out of place in the car, and you can see with, you know, with the PCI rails and everything else, it actually fits really well. So, this was a busy setup for interior in this car. We got the little console cover in. We've got the quick release, the hub boss, the NRG quick release. We threw PCI rail in, Sparco seat, Sparco harness, and a harness bar. So I'm still missing the roll bar. I've got a couple ones I'm looking at. I'm kind of on the fence. You guys can tell me what you think. I'm kind of on the fence of a hard dog or like a Cusco one. I mean, the car is going to see track, but it's not going to be, you know, strictly a track car. So, you know, you still need the rollover protection, 100% with the Miata. So, you guys, let me know what you think. If you guys have experience with the Cusco versus the hard dog, you know, one way or the other. But I got the harness bar, so at least I can get this in for now. I kept the seatbelt, the OEM seatbelt, so I can still use that. And for any of you guys that ever get pulled over, you understand why. And then I kind of on purpose skipped a little bit of how I mounted the belts and everything else. And that's, if you guys have never mounted belts, get somebody that, you know, is professional, that's done it a bunch of times, knows how to do it, to help you out. It's a very, very high safety factor. So, I mean, you can't have a failure of your belts. Like, you just can't. So, I know I kind of skipped ahead on that section, but you guys got to see that the sub harness mount PCI has, and it actually mounts to the seat base. On previous cars like my S2000, I used eye bolts and I actually drilled through the body for those. I didn't have to on this because I had that lower sub mount for that. My side harnesses, I was able to retain factory bolt holes, screw mounting locations, one on the seatbelt side, the other on the inside, and I was able to use eye bolts there. As for my shoulder harnesses, they went to the harness bar, and you guys, there's plenty of good resources. I use Grassroot Motorsports. You know, they've got a ton of racing articles and everything else, and they had a really good article about, you know, how to mount your belts and how to wrap them, and it has a certain pattern that it has to go through. So make sure that, you know, you follow that, or like I said, you know, definitely get the professional advice for the best way to mount your harness and secure it. It really is important. So that, for the most part, is going to take care of a lot of the interior. Later on, I'm going to do some other stuff like your door panels and the tan that I didn't like. You guys, let me know what you think about pulling the carpet on the floor. You think I should just keep it with the OEM red, or do you think I should put black carpet back in? I kind of like it like this. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. But otherwise, I think we're all set for now. Thanks for hanging out. You guys, let me know. Did you think I was going to get the Recaro in here and was able to actually mount that Recaro? I really wanted to. Or did you guys just know I was going to end up with a Sprint seat? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Of course, drop those comments, and thank you for all your support. That's going to be it for this one, and we'll see what fun I have with the next one. Oh, don't miss out. Project Shinigami, right on the other side of the camera, is getting really close to, not running, but it's getting really close to like everything going back in it, which then the potential is for it to run again and for me to get that one on track. But until then, I'm playing with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks.